Welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
You're listening to episode 34. Happy Disney Plus Day. We are recording on Thursday, September 8th, which is Disney Plus Day this year.
On the actual day a show releases.
Yeah. So we want to talk about a couple of the Disney Plus things, and then we'll talk about She-Hulk episode 4. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have anything you want to start off with?
Thor: Love and Thunder is officially on Disney Plus.
How much did we get to watch? Like 20 minutes?
I don't even think 20 minutes, maybe 15.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 15.
You know, when we first started it, I was pretty excited because it seemed like Grayson was going to be into it.
Yeah, and then he freaked out.
It very quickly de-escalated there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we'll watch it later.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
I still love it. I was so pumped when we turned it on.
Yeah. we literally got to like the first scene with Thor and that first planet they're on with the bird people.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, no, I'm just letting them how far we got. Where he did the splits.
Well, no, we got to see Jane
and
and Darcy.
Okay.
That's kind of
okay.
where we
That's
stopped
where we
it.
are. Okay.
Yeah. There's
So
fewer.
we might be like 15 or 20 minutes in.
As a movie fan, it's really annoying not being able to watch like an entire movie
Yeah.
in
I
one
get
sitting. So
It's me, it's not as bad, but Ashley, she's like I wouldn't say a movie snob, but like it drives her nuts like watching in bits. Because when Grayson was like littler,
yeah.
she was like, I literally watched 10 minutes and then it was off. And then I was helping him or doing something with him. And then it was on and then it was off.
Yeah, I definitely learned my lesson with him. Like if we have another child and I'm on maternity leave, I probably won't watch like TV most of the day unless they're like actually napping for a decent amount of time, because it's just frustrating to not get to watch like an entire, like it's like 5 minutes and then like 3 minutes and then you maybe get like a 10-minute thing. No, it's annoying. But anyway, we'll move on from that.
People can be like, wow, what a terrible mom watching TV.
Yeah, it's 2022. Kids watch TV. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we watched TV.
From the time you woke up to the time you went to sleep.
Grayson's super active. Like, I feel this is a Disney podcast, so obviously we talk about Disney related things on here, but that kid is going from the second he wakes up in the morning, and then when he comes home from school, it's nice, just like when you get off work, it's nice to like kind of relax for a minute.
Yeah, no, he definitely wants to relax when we get home because he gets pretty wore out at school.
Yeah.
But anywho, Disney Plus Day, Thor: Love and Thunder is out. We will eventually finish that movie.
Yeah, I
finish that movie and then watch it 1,000 more times.
Yeah, I think we need to finish it tonight. We'll see how you feel.
Wow.
After this.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, other things that we have for Disney Plus Day, we kind of talked about some of these on our last podcast. Cars on the Road, that was a big one.
Yep.
We've watched a few of them already. Yep. They're like 10-minute shorts, and there's 9 of them.
Yeah, they're pretty cute. Mm-hmm. I watched, so after I watched She-Hulk at about 5 o'clock this morning, I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes just while I was getting ready. And they're pretty cute. Mm-hmm. I just really like the Cars universe, so I'm all about it.
Yeah, I think Grayson enjoyed the couple that we watched tonight.
Yeah.
And then we have Dancing with the Stars, the pros' most memorable dances. I've never watched Dancing with the Stars.
Same.
Epic Adventures with Birdie Gregory.
That's a National Geographic thing.
Yeah. Frozen Sing-Along and Frozen 2 Sing-Along, which if you have little girls, I think that would be super fun. Mm-hmm. Or if you have little boys and they like Frozen. We went through a very short phase where he enjoyed Frozen.
Yeah.
But I was living that moment. because that was fun.
Yeah, he likes singing Let It Go whenever it comes on like Disney radio.
Yeah. Growing Up, which is not directed. What am I trying to say? Produced by Brie Larson. She-Hulk episode 4, which we'll talk about more in depth. Love and Thunder, obviously. Assembled, the making of Thor Love and Thunder, which that is going to be super fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to watch that soon. Obi-Wan Kenobi, A Jedi's Return, which is kind of like the making.
Yeah, it's like an assembled kind of thing.
Pinocchio, which I'm excited to watch.
Mm-hmm.
We probably need to watch that this weekend if we can manage it.
Long weekend for me. 3-day weekend.
Yep. It's going to feel even longer because I close on Sunday. Remembering, which I think Brie Larson was also a big part of that. Welcome to the Club. A short from The Simpsons. Tiara.
Oh, I watched that this morning too.
Did you?
Yeah, it's only like 3 minutes long.
Oh.
It's funny.
That's pretty much everything that they had on the list. I don't know what else was released. But the ones that I'm most excited for, obviously Thor Love and Thunder and the assembled for that. The Obi-Wan Kenobi behind the scenes. I think that is going to be good.
Pinocchio.
Yeah, I really am interested to see if we like it. And I know the casting choice of Tom Hanks as Geppetto, it was kind of, it's Geppetto, right? Yeah. You looked at me weird.
Oh, sorry, I was breathing.
You breathed really weird over there. Anyway, the casting choices, Tom Hanks as Geppetto, has been kind of controversial. So we'll see if we like his performance in it or not. I've never been like a big Pinocchio fan. Did you watch it growing up?
I was literally getting ready to ask you, like, did you watch the movie? And if so, did you like it? Because I remember I liked Jiminy Cricket. So that was about the only thing I liked about Pinocchio. But I don't really remember Pinocchio beyond that. I just remember Geppetto, I thought was like, even as a little kid, I was like, man, is this guy a pedophile?
Yeah, interesting.
And which is like ironic because like the whole
Tom Hanks
thing is he's a pedophile in disguise kind of thing.
Okay, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really recall watching Pinocchio. I'm sure we did at some point. However, there is a storyline in Once Upon a Time, the TV show, with Pinocchio. And I vaguely remember that. I didn't finish the series. I get bored in the middle on some things, and so I just stopped watching it. But I never finished that series. But I remember there was a storyline with Pinocchio, and it was pretty fascinating. So.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it's like. But I don't have like high expectations of like, oh my gosh, it was my favorite Disney movie growing up as a kid.
No, and I think that's kind of the best way to go into it with like zero expectations.
Yeah. So you can be pleasantly surprised or be like, oh, that's kind of what I thought it would be.
I mean, to be completely transparent, if we didn't have this podcast, I probably would never watch it.
I doubt that. We would watch it. Eventually we would get bored and be like, oh, let's watch Pinocchio.
Yeah, what would happen is you and Grayson would watch it on a weekend that I'm at work, which is, all the time. And I would come home and you'd be like, oh my God, we got to watch Pinocchio. It was so good. And then I would get suckered into it.
What movie? Oh, Coco.
Oh, yeah.
I watched when we... and the old apartment we used to live in, I watched, while she was at work, I watched Coco. And because everyone at work was like, you got to watch Coco. It's like really good. So I eventually watched Coco. And I actually got home. I'm like, you got to watch this movie. And she's like, I'm not watching that crap. I was like, it's so good. And then she watched it and she cried and liked it.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Did that make your top 10?
No, I don't think so. It's a Pixar.
Yeah.
Did it? God, I'd have to look back. I don't remember.
I can't remember either. I feel like it did. I think it was like in your lows.
I think it was like maybe number 8 or something.
Yeah.
But it definitely exceeded my expectations. And again, like I had basically no expectations, but I did love the movie.
Yeah.
It was just great.
Yeah.
Super good.
Super bright and colorful.
Mm-hmm.
Very Halloween nighttime.
Halloween. Oh my god. So this is gonna be a good year for us for Halloween because Grayson is almost 3 and he's obsessed with Halloween nighttime. Basically, just
I don't know where he got nighttime from, but that's what he says. Oh, look at that Halloween nighttime stuff. So like anytime he sees pumpkins, or like we went to Lowe's a couple days ago, he's like, oh, look, Halloween nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is Halloween nighttime.
Yeah. So he was sick this week and he didn't go to school one day. And so we kind of split the day. And the part where I was home with him, we decorated for Halloween. I mean, it took like 10 minutes because we don't have a lot of stuff. But it was super cute how excited he got. I think he's just really excited to go trick-or-treating and get candy.
Yeah.
He's been talking about that a lot.
He just doesn't realize that it's a month away.
I know. Like almost 2 months away. Yeah, we got to keep that alive. I tried to sucker him into watching Halloween Town with me.
And he was not about it.
I don't know. It wasn't that he was just not interested. I think he just wanted to run around.
He doesn't like live action stuff.
He was excited when he saw the trick-or-treaters. We'll try again. I think once he sees all of the characters, he'll like it.
He'll be haunted for life.
The opening scene was kind of creepy, and I like forget about that because I'm like an adult, you know, but like as a kid I would imagine that would be kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a shot of like the pumpkin and it's kind of like dark and ominous music is playing. Anyway, let's get into She-Hulk. Okay. So tell me what you thought about this episode.
I always catch myself saying and I'm trying to stop because when I go back to edit, I catch myself going
Yeah.
So every time I do this, I'm like, oh god, I said it again. But now I said it like 7 times in the past 20 seconds, so I have to do a lot of editing.
No, that's okay.
But I liked this episode a lot.
I did too. It was really just like, it just felt like just how her life is going to be from now on. It wasn't like this climactic moment where it was like, okay, this is an Avengers movie, you know, where we're getting to see like a peak moment for them. This is just like her life now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep.
She's living it. She is She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. She is Jen Walters kind of thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. But I would say this is my favorite episode for sure.
It's so, I knew you were going to mention it being your favorite potentially, and it's just really hard for me to rank them. But every episode that comes out, I just love them all.
No, I get it.
It's just, it's a good time. I just said, now.
I know.
That I'm thinking about it. So, so some of my favorite things in this episode, her dad.
Oh god, that was so funny.
Yes, there were several like laugh out loud moments in this episode, and one of the first ones was when she was in her apartment with her house, whatever, with her dad, and he's got a shovel, and she's like, "What's the shovel for?" And he's like, "My daughter got attacked by like 4 guys. Like, what do you think the shovel's for?" He said, "We don't have to." I don't remember what he said it because it's been a while. It's been like hours since I watched it, but he's like, "We don't have to talk about this."
Yeah. No, I love that scene, and I love the dad.
I know, he's so great.
He's so funny. But I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna say this real quick. You know who Titania is at the end of the episode? Do you know who she's played by?
No.
Jamila Jamil.
Okay.
And she's from The Good Place.
Okay.
You like The Good Place.
I watched The Good Place for The first season.
I thought you watched all of it.
No. That would be me losing interest quickly.
Well, anyway, you would recognize her. It's the one.
It's been a long time.
You would recognize her when you saw her, but I put that together today. I'm like, oh, she's from The Good Place. But
okay.
yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to look it up.
I just, I love the end where it said trademark She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I know I'm jumping around, but I just had to get that off my chest because it's so funny.
There's so many things going through my head. It's going to be hard to do like a play-by-play on this episode. And honestly, I have a better time when we're just kind of talking about our favorite things.
Yeah, for sure.
A couple things that now you've got me thinking about saying, and I can't help it. That's just part of me talking. A couple of my favorite scenes. One of them was when she was on the date with the guy.
Which one?
Okay, so she created the dating profile.
Yeah.
As
Jennifer Walters.
Jennifer Walters. Sorry.
Which, by the way,
brain fart.
I love the name Jennifer, and if we have a girl, that's definitely going to be a name that I throw in the basket. Jennifer. I love that.
Okay.
I know, totally random, but
yeah, that is. Okay, so she creates a profile as Jennifer Walters. Basically, nobody cares about it. And then she decides, okay, I'm going to create a profile as She-Hulk. And immediately, tons of responses. People are just like super obsessed with her.
Match.
Super fascinated. And so she goes on several dates. A couple of them are crap. And she goes on this date with this doctor guy. He's the one wearing like a gray sweater and he's like baldish.
Mm-hmm.
Super muscular.
Yeah, the pediatrician.
Yeah. Anyway, so they're at her place on the couch and Wong is trying to get a hold of her. I'm sorry, this scene is like taking way too long to explain. Wong is trying to get a hold of her. He opens the portal, takes her with him. They have a little fight scene and then she comes back and lands right on top of the guy on the couch.
Yeah.
And then she literally picked him up. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I like cackled when she did that because I was like, oh my God. It's just so weird to see, but it's hilarious.
It's like a Jessica, what is it? Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Situation. What is her name? Jessica
Rabbit, I think.
Jessica Rabbit?
Red.
Yeah. She picks up Roger Rabbit. I guess it is Jessica Rabbit.
Okay.
Where she picks him up and like takes him off. That's what it reminded me
of. But just the way they filmed that, I don't know. It just made me laugh so hard
when
I saw that. And then like the next morning, she's just back to being Jennifer Walters watching, she's got the TV on. She's wearing like an oversized shirt. Like
a typical
like
comfy clothes. What you wake up in the morning.
Yeah, she looked cute.
Yeah.
Especially for it being the morning. And he walks in and he's like, who are you? She's like, Jennifer Walters, not currently in She-Hulk form, just Jennifer. And he's like, oh, I have to go.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Fourth wall break.
Yeah.
I love that she's like, she's squeezed fresh orange juice. And you can see like on the counter, there's like 7 or 8 oranges that have been like squeezed.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
I know that I felt so bad for her because I think I don't understand. I mean, I understand not from a male's perspective because I'm not, but like I could understand why they would want to like date the She-Hulk, right? Because she's beautiful and she's like an Amazon and
yeah
and all of these things. But I think Jennifer Walters is attractive.
Yeah.
So that made me so sad. Like as a woman, she laughed it off and that's great. Mm-hmm. But it did make me a little sad for her.
I think she like kind of expected that, but didn't expect it from that guy.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is sad.
Anyway, so we'll move on. I just wanted to talk about that scene where she picked him up because I thought that was friggin' hilarious. Another scene that I well, first of all, anything with Wong, this was a very Wong heavy episode.
The fourth wall break when she talks about that.
Yeah.
Wong's in this episode, so everyone's going to love that.
Mhm.
It'll be on Twitter today.
I loved the post-credit scene and the scenes with Wong and that
Madison.
random girl. Yeah.
Madison
Hilarious.
with 2 N's and 1 Y, but
Yeah.
you don't know where it is.
Where you least expect it. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Going
Love
through the
it.
liquors that they've
Yes,
tried.
Yes. What was the milk that she was wanting to try?
Vodka and
What kind of milk was
goat milk.
it? It wasn't goat milk. Was it?
Yak milk.
Yak milk. That's right. Anyway, just so funny.
Yeah, I love Wong. Definitely, we're definitely getting more Wong in this show, I think, at some point. But it's great to see him in the show. And man, he's had so many like appearances now. I saw this post on Instagram the other day. So he's like, obviously Doctor Strange, Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, this show, and one other, but I cannot remember which one it is.
I zoned out while you were talking. Repeat the list again.
Doctor Strange,
Uh-huh.
Infinity War,
Yeah.
Endgame,
Okay.
No Way Home, She-Hulk.
Was he in Thor,
No,
The Dark World? That was just Doctor Strange?
you mean Ragnarok? And no.
Right. Ragnarok. Sorry.
But there's 6, and I'm like, man, he's made 6 appearances since 2016. That's pretty good. He's made more appearances than Doctor Strange.
Interesting.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's where the whole Emil Blonsky thing.
Yeah. So, what were some of your favorite scenes in this episode?
Well, I really like the dating scene where
Mhm.
she's at the dating. I don't know, the speed dating. Is that what it was, or was she actually on dates?
No, I think she was just on dates like Tinder. I mean, they didn't call it Tinder, but it's basically Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
And she just swiped. I think
Okay,
it's
so
right
she was like
all
on
these people.
dates, but actual dates.
Mhm.
So there was that one guy that was super creepy and weird
Uh-huh.
because he was talking about her impenetrable skin,
Yes.
and I thought, did he send the wrecking crew?
Yeah, that was super weird.
He's like the super fan. Oh my god, I love the She-Hulk. She's so cool, and he's like going on about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when she was as Jennifer. It was like the first match, I think.
She was She-Hulk with that guy.
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Does it
'Cause-
penetrate your skin question guy?
Yep. Because
Well, I specifically remember her being green and her saying, "Do you want to test it right now?"
no, she because that's the scene where they try to pay. They like both grab she grabs her purse, he grabs his wallet, and
We're
like,
talking about a different guy.
Okay. I'm done with this podcast.
You're talking about the guy with like the brown, like longish.
Yeah, they
curly
were like
hair.
at a bowling alley or something.
Yeah, that's not the guy I'm talking about.
Oh.
Because that wasn't the guy who was asking her all of the questions. He was like on his phone the whole time.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, there was another guy who was.
I watched this at 5:00 in the morning. Give me
No,
a break.
that's fine. I'm just saying. The guy who was asking her about her skin.
Oh,
she was green.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, that was like a crazy little tangent.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. But I did like the scenes where she's going through the dating thing.
Mm-hmm. I also liked, what's her best friend's name?
Nikki.
I'm terrible with names. I'll remember them by the end of the series. So when Nikki was like, it was towards the beginning, she's like, God, you got to get new clothes.
Yeah.
And then she was like, it's surprisingly hard to like find clothes that fit. And it's funny because like right before she said that, I'm like, God, that suit looks like shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's, especially up close, it's just like tailored super weird,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So
Yeah,
hopefully,
it's for like a big and tall guy, I'm sure.
yeah. So hopefully she'll get that kind of figured out later
Mm-hmm.
in the series.
She's got an aunt that does makeup.
Yeah.
So maybe she does tailoring. What other scenes? I mean, obviously I love the scenes with Wong, and I especially love the last scene where they're fighting those little demon
Little demon
things.
things. Yeah.
I thought Donnie Blaze
Yeah.
was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was really interesting. You know?
He was weird, and I thought it was kind of fun that it was like so like just weird and out there. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I can use the mystic arts," and he just opens up portals to these hell realms, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously has like no idea what he's doing,
Oh yeah.
but he's desperate to, you know, be famous, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
What? So I love that first scene where he sends Madison, and then Madison falls right in front of Wong.
was she holding like a heart?
A heart. And she's like, "Yeah, this demon named Jake, you know, he took 6 drops of my blood, and I had sold my soul to him or something like that."
Yeah, she was funny.
But it's just like, whoa, like, are we getting a Mephisto reference here, or like another? Because there's like different hell realms in Marvel Comics, so it's like the realm of Mephisto, and like the actual like realm of hell,
Yeah.
and then there's just other realms, but I don't know who it is. But I'm just curious, like, why
Mm-hmm.
and who are they?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But the demon scene
Mm-hmm.
where the dove,
She's like, they don't die when she stomped on one of them.
oh yeah, it's just like,
Oh, with the dove. Yeah.
yeah, the dove
Mm-hmm.
that has
Laid
the
an
egg,
Yeah.
and the egg cracks, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I just knew when it laid an egg, I was like, oh, it's gonna be something freaking weird.
Yeah. That was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a strange episode, you know?
Oh yeah,
But
this
I
is,
really enjoyed it.
so that I feel like this episode really felt like a comic,
Mm-hmm.
like a comic book,
Mm-hmm.
like a single issue comic book, not like a story. But because sometimes in Marvel Comics, especially like with the sorcerer stuff, like 1 minute you're doing one thing and the next minute like you're battling these monsters from another dimension. And I'm like, I was totally vibing off that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Because like obviously She-Hulk's kicking ass and doing like moves that Bruce taught her and everything. Like you can see like when she jumps up and spins in the air and throws it through the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, did you see the portal that Wong opened?
Yeah, it was like, was it the same place that the Ancient One opened for Doctor Strange?
No, it was Wondercore Mountain where Wanda was.
Oh. It
Or-
was snowy, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what it looked like to me at least.
Interesting.
So those little demons probably will die there, or there's like a gateway that they're gonna find to go back into like a hell realm.
I'll have to Google that scene again to see what
Yeah.
it is, because I'm sure people who are super fans have figured it out. I just watched the show to enjoy it, not to like overanalyze everything.
Yeah, part of me wants to enjoy it, part of me wants to overanalyze it, and then I find myself in a situation where I'm like thinking too much and not enjoying the show.
Yeah.
So I just kind of turn my brain off and like enjoy the show.
Yeah. So if you were, I think we're kind of like wrapping up this episode, but
Okay.
if you were one of those critics who had to pick apart in a show, what were some things in this episode that you noticed that could be better or should be done different?
Definitely, and I'm gonna beat a dead horse here, but the CGI
Yeah.
when Wong is talking to her, because
Yes.
he's like, I want to file a suit against Donnie Blaze.
Yes, I noticed that particular scene too.
Like whenever she's like,
Yes.
he's like, oh, the Book of Ashanti, and she's like, no, the Book of, and like her hands and like her face
Yeah.
just look way wonky to me.
I don't know. Yeah, I
And that was
completely
like,
agree.
that took me out of, like, it was noticeable enough to kind of take me out of the moment.
Same. And like, you know, obviously you guys know listening, like we're not critics and we typically just pretty much enjoy everything and we try to keep it pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I think I think it's going to be the next meme, probably. It
Yeah.
probably already is a meme. since it's been out for all day.
She-Hulk is a meme apparently because everyone is hating on the show.
I know. That's crazy. These people are so dull.
Man, on my TikTok feed, that's all it is people hating on She-Hulk. And it's like She-Hulk would never twerk.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole going back to that whole thing. And people don't realize that that's not the first time that Marvel's done something like, Marvel has a character called Stripperella.
I did not know that.
But it's a stripper.
Sounds like a stripper.
Her name is Stripperella, and there's like a scene I'll have to show you later. But Stan Lee like endorsed it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it got scrubbed and it's like not a
it's
thing anymore, but it's just like
it's so weird that like people are taking this so seriously and it's obviously not meant to be taken seriously.
No, yeah.
I mean, they're building a universe and they're making connections between storylines and everything, but it's not meant to be like Daredevil or the Punisher,
I just keep hearing references, and I watched this one guy's video today, and he's like, I went back and rewatched Iron Man to see if I was romanticizing that era of good CGI, and he's like, it's just 100 times better than any of the new MCU stuff we're been getting. And I'm like, yeah, Iron Man 1 is good, and like the CGI in that movie is like really good, especially for the budget that they had.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some like pretty like weird scenes, like where they're on the plane and they're strippers on the plane.
Oh yeah.
And scenes like that, and I'm just like, you're cherry picking scenes. You know what I mean?
They're just talking about the CGI though.
Well, the CGI and just other stuff too.
I agree with the CGI thing. I mean, I think I'm not an expert, but it seems like Disney and Marvel are really trying to put out a lot of content, which we all are enjoying, but they're not giving the people who are working on it enough time.
Oh yeah, that's been a big thing too.
To work on it. So like the reason Iron Man has good CGI is because the people that they're paying to do the CGI actually had time to do their jobs.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the process.
Well,
I'm just a normal person, but
whenever they filmed the first Iron Man movie, it took so Marvel movies now get pumped out in like a year. So they film it, and then about like a year later from filming is when it releases. They're like a year and a couple months. The first Iron Man movie started shooting in like 2006, and it came out in 2008. So it's like 2 years later.
yeah.
So it's just one of those things. But like the CGI in this episode did draw me out a couple, like that one time for sure. Like the little demons, they didn't like look awful, but they didn't look. It kind of reminded me of God, what's that show on the CW with Jensen Ackles?
Supernatural.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of that a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I mean that's really my only qualm with the series so far is the CGI. And I think that if they had just taken a little bit more time with it, it would have made it that much better. Yeah. And it would have been so much more well received by pretty much everyone who watched it, because a lot of people's issues are with the CGI. And if it takes you out of the moment, it probably needs to be fixed. But, I wish it was a little bit different.
Sometimes she looks great as She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And the CGI looks like amazing. And then other times it just like it stands out too much.
I think they're having a hard time with like the lighting, and different angles of the lighting. And
yeah, the darker the better, because you don't have to like render as much.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. It's just needs a little bit of work, but overall still love it.
So I bet our super fan Autumn would definitely be able to tell you all about that stuff at work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's hello Autumn, if you're listening. She's a film major in graduate school, working on projects this fall and winter, and they actually just won an award.
Oh, that's awesome.
A local award, yeah. But she could tell you a lot more about the cinematography and why things are the way they are. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's not my area of expertise.
Yeah. So you just have to ask her.
I will. She's doing overnights this week, and
Oh.
I think moving forward. So we might see each other in passing.
Well, that's so cool that you like work with someone. Well, one that listens to the podcast, and two that is into film, because that's really
Oh yeah.
like in another lifetime. I feel like I'd want to do that.
There's quite a few people at my work who are really into film, and I always feel kind of like an idiot when I'm talking to them, because I enjoy film, and I've seen a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows, and a little bit less now that we have a child and like we both work a lot and life just happens. But more so like in my, teenage years, I watched a lot of TV and movies, and I've enjoyed them, but we're just now getting to the point where we kind of think a little bit more in depth about things. And I've got quite a few people at my work who are very analytical about, like Star Wars, for example. When Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, we had plenty of conversations about Star Wars at work, and I haven't seen a lot of the Star Wars stuff, aside from
The movies.
like I haven't seen the Clone Wars, basically.
Oh yeah.
And that's
yeah.
a big piece. So anyway, kind of humbling.
Yeah, wait till they're a parent, or at least when Grayson's older and he starts to get more interested in that stuff, other than Bluey and cartoons or other cartoons.
Yeah, I'm excited for the day where he's like maybe 4 and we can sit through a Marvel movie start to finish. Like, I can't wait for the time where we can have like a movie night and make it a big deal. Like get some popcorn, get some candy, some soda, whatever, and or a pizza, and like we all sit on the couch and actually watch like a full movie, no phones, anything like that, and just have a movie night. He's still too young for that, but
Yeah.
I look forward to that. I think that'll be really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
We're definitely the parents. I mean, I don't think we're going to be that filtered when it comes to TV and movies as far as what he can and cannot watch.
I wasn't as a child.
I
so.
wasn't either. I think I watched Terminator when I was like 5. And there's like a lot of like pretty gruesome stuff in there.
I just remember like if I knew it was a scary movie or like something that might, because I was like, this is weird, but when you grow like up on a farm and you're outside by yourself a lot, or not even like I didn't grow up on a farm, but I like grew up on land. And like when you go hunting, it's like your mind goes to places that like, oh my God, what if a Terminator showed up?
Yeah.
So as like a 7-year-old, like my last thing would be like, oh, I'm going to watch Terminator.
Yeah.
Because when I go hunting with Dad, I'm going to think, oh my God, there's going to be a Terminator.
That's so funny.
Coming out of the woods and killing us. But yeah, that's where my mind would go as a kid. That's why I didn't want now I still don't enjoy like scary movies. I like thriller movies, but like scary movies, no, I'm okay.
I used to love scary movies. I think I went through a phase in high school where I watched I loved Halloween. I don't know why in the world I would ever want to watch Saw, but I went through a phase where I watched Saw, I watched Friday the 13th, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street, like the classics.
When we first started dating,
yeah,
you were very like horror.
I know. I remember watching Saw on one of our dates.
Oh God.
And you got like physically ill.
That was a combination. One, we
probably had food poisoning.
We had Hinode.
Yeah.
Which is
I just remember you were
an Asian restaurant here. It's like a hibachi grill.
You were like sweating profusely.
Oh man, it was not a good situation. And it was like 20 degrees outside, and we stepped outside, and she's like, "There's steam coming off of your head." Man, the days of the dorm, I miss those days.
Oh my God, I know. We had some really great times. You don't realize when you're in it that those are the best times of your life.
Wow.
I think it's all relative.
Way to quote Andy Bernard.
Yeah. I know. It's just ingrained. But yeah, I loved when I lived in the dorms and you would come visit.
Yeah.
And life was so simple. I worked part-time, like 2 or 3 days a week. I don't know whatever possessed me to want to go full-time. That was crazy. Because I had it made, you know, college student.
More money. That's why.
Living in the dorms. The rec center was right next to my dorm. So like I would get up every morning and go to the rec center.
I just remember the breakfast.
Yeah. Food. How could I forget? There was a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you know, made for you. You don't have to do your own dishes. My God. Those were the days. And I didn't appreciate it then. Someone was cooking me breakfast every day. Now I'd be like, this is amazing. I'm never gonna complain about it.
I remember though one time I spent the night and we went down for breakfast the next morning. And I was like, God dang, this is nice. I was like, this is what you do every day? And you're like, yep.
I'm a brat.
It was like we're eating French toast and like scrambled eggs and all sorts. I mean,
that's what
like
happens.
What a breakfast buffet is like, but at like a university.
I was definitely a brat,
which is pretty freaking good.
That's what happens when your parents don't teach you responsibility at all. You know,
shout out Cheryl
or
and Rusty.
When they don't teach you responsibility and to appreciate things and like having to work for things. And, you know, if like I said, if someone is cooking me breakfast every day now and doing my dishes for me, I would be freaking happy about it. But anyway, that was a weird tangent again. Reliving the glory days.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it because it would be mean. But anyway.
It would be mean.
It would be mean.
What?
Oh, I'm just thinking. I'm not even going to say it.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay. That's probably for the best. I would assume it's to do with my parents. So.
No, just your childhood.
Oh, okay.
Ashley's childhood and my childhood couldn't have been more different.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, this is getting way
okay. Well, hold on. I gotta say one thing. Even though we were raised completely different, I feel like because of the way we were raised differently, we both agree of the way we want to raise our own children.
Yeah, I agree.
So you were brought up a certain way. I was brought up a certain way, and we can see the things that we would like to do differently, and we both agree on how we want to raise our kids.
Yeah.
Because of that. So.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
It all worked out.
I'm getting delusional now. So, do you have anything else to add for She-Hulk?
No. I'm super excited for next week to see where.
Just one thing real quick. Tomorrow's D23 starts.
Oh, yeah.
So before obviously we'll do another episode of She-Hulk next week, but hopefully we can do a D23 episode coming up.
So that goes 9th, 10th, and 11th. So it should be, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? You close Sunday, correct?
Yeah, but we close at 8, so I should be home by like 8:45.
Oh, okay. Then we'll be able to do one for sure.
So if you have a good routine with the Nugget and you get him to bed on time, we can record right when I get home.
All right. Well.
Easier said than done.
For sure. I don't have much else to say. Oh, but what I was going to say about She-Hulk, is I'm super excited to see Titania.
Yeah.
Back. That whole, her is like a.
She trademarked the
She-Hulk. Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to follow Jamila Jamil on Instagram because she's like goes around as Titania and like spray paints She-Hulk stuff.
That's funny.
Like there's a big sign on like Hollywood Boulevard and she's like spray painting it.
Yeah.
As Titania. It's funny.
Okay.
But anyway, I don't have much else to say. Thanks for listening to the show. Do you want to give closing statements here?
I'll just kind of bounce off what you said. Thank you all for listening today. We really appreciate your support. We hit 110 subscribers on YouTube, which is still pretty small, but we're seeing growth. So we're excited about that. We appreciate you. If you enjoy the show, make sure to give us a rating on whatever platform you are listening, or if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Beyond the Ears Podcast. An exciting thing that we're going to be posting on our Instagram is our Halloween costumes. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow us so that you can see our Halloween costumes on October 31st, obviously.
Man. Well,
it's going to be a hard year to beat. Good costumes.
Yeah.
We're going to kill it.
Well, and I'll probably end up wearing mine to the craft show.
Oh, yeah. We did go a little crazy with the costumes this year, so we'll definitely need to wear them around the house to make it worth it.
Yeah.
Go to comic book conventions, whatever.
It was well worth the little amount of money that it cost.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. Everyone have a good rest of your day.